Set in 2010, this movie tells a story about the women of an isolated religious community who grapple with reconciling a brutal reality with their faith. Adapted from 2018's novel, this movie is very much keyed to the Me Too moment. The various positions the women take could be said to line up neatly with stances within that particular movement. Unfortunately, this movie is too simplistic and obvious in delivering the message. It's really schematic in its intent and pedestrian in its execution. Characters operate more like mouthpieces for common perspectives on debates over gender equality. Rarely does the movie dare to challenge our assumptions about the form of society. Better and richer characterizations might have given the film at least an appearance of engaging in a genuine discussion regarding difficult notions about how to remake an oppressive society. But these characters, however well performed by its cast, come off merely as glorified thesis positions. Once you grasp the substance of the film early on, there isn't much else left to discover about these characters or their situations. Every moment exists alongside the machinations behind it, which makes the movie more like a case of bad reverse engineering than effective metaphor or allegory. As suggested by the title, much of the drama revolves around the 8 women interacting with each other. It's all overwritten monologues, endless meetings, and conversations combined with really slow pacing, making the 96 minutes runtime seem like 3 hours. All that talking to say nothing of substance, and all that craft in service of a one-dimensional perspective that frankly demonizes all men amounts to a case of potential wasted. Bafflingly, there's one character who seems to want to be man so badly. Perhaps gender pronoun ideology manages to sneak its way into the most remote of colonies. This movie also has problem in its setup, as it feels really phony. It's difficult to grapple with the logic of multiple generations of these strong women depicted in the film being too weak, too scared, and too afraid to leave the clutches of their abusive colony. To make it worse, it looks very easy for these women to do these meetings and discuss how they can escape as if the man led them to. The believability is very low, making the message the movie wants to deliver feels really thin and hollow. Visually, this movie is actually interesting as it's using saturated color setup that mostly denies us any sense of warmth or light. Unfortunately, such aesthetic becomes a distraction as the movie doesn't have a compelling story or richly multidimensional characters to either justify or overpower it. Overall, this movie is not really worth your time. We do not recommend this movie at all.